Hi guys, today's episode is all about humility, but when Josh and I were discussing the topic, we came across a bit of a problem, and the problem was, how is humility anything more than just being a doormat? And we started discussing what that looks like. What does humility really mean? And we realized that we think most people have a poor definition of humility, and actually humility can have a big impact on our lives. So I hope you enjoy the episode, and we'll see you on the other side.
Well, we're here for season 2 of the Soul Focus podcast.
Yes, we are.
And as you can see, we're recording.
You can actually see us now.
There's video.
There's video now.
There's this plant.
There's a plant there.
There.
That's a real one.
Yeah.
Is that a real one?
That is a real one. That is a real plant.
This is
fake.
That's a fake one.
Yeah.
Good
to balance out.
You know, we can't have too much realness.
Fake. Yeah. To be fair, we're going to come on to reality.
We are
a little bit later on.
That is true.
In the podcast.
This is true.
So welcome to season 2. For those who are who've been listening in to season 1, we're going to be really just continuing on where we left off in the first season. So we're going to dive right into humility, what it is. We're going to talk a little bit about how does humility look in practice? What isn't humility? And yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have probably a good 2 or 3 episodes on this subject. So
nice.
We'll see how we get on today.
Yeah,
it's an interesting subject.
Yeah,
where in season 1 we spoke about why people dismiss humility. So we talked a little bit about, like, you know, being people who are humble. Sometimes they get, you know, they become a pushover or
sure,
whatever it is, and humility is therefore seen as something that's for the weak. But we want to talk a little bit about how actually when you really look at humility and what it means and how it's expressed, it's actually quite powerful, really, in its outworking. So we'll dive into that.
And we talked a lot about, like, relationships, and the question that comes back is, if you were offered £1 million, but it meant that you couldn't see your closest loved one?
Yes.
Was that the question that you posed?
Exactly, yeah. So £1 million, or if you chose the £1 million, you wouldn't ever see your loved one again.
Yeah. And so I guess in this season we want to dive into where those intersect. So where relationships and humility intersect.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And our proposal is that humility is crucial for relationships.
100%.
Yeah. Cool. Should we start with a definition?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Right. So, okay. So this is according to the Oxford Dictionary. Humility.
Fancy.
Sorry.
Fancy.
Fancy. Yes. Very fancy.
It's just normal, isn't it? It's not fancy.
Yeah. So humility is defined as having a modest or low view of one's importance. The Webster's Dictionary, on the other hand, frames it as freedom from pride or arrogance. So essentially it involves the recognition of one's own limit within the world, within one's own being, I guess. So that could be spiritually, could be mentally, could be physically. There's an appreciation of one's own being within the world.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess you're free of the perception of yourself being above that which you are. And essentially it's a rejection of pride. So that's the definition. But I guess what comes to your mind when you hear the word humility?
Humility, yeah. again, the first thing that comes to my mind is, like you'd mentioned, someone who lets life happen to them.
Yeah, like
right.
a doormat. Or
Yeah.
sort of,
Which I think we all know is not true. Well, maybe not all of us. Maybe we do think that's true. But
yeah.
Actually, that is not true, right? Is what we want to say.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind to me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one would be Jesus. I think.
Yeah.
Just put that out there, that would be my...
It's a Sunday school answer.
Yeah, Sunday school answer, yeah. But yeah, like a prophet, a sage.
Yeah.
Maybe sort of someone who is sacrificial.
Right.
Whether that's in media or, thinking of various people through history who have given up something for a cause.
Right.
Yeah, that would be what I would think of.
Yeah, okay.
When in terms of
do any people come to mind other than Jesus?
Other than Jesus? No, literally. No.
Just Jesus.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Is probably one
that.
That's probably the most prominent in my head in terms of standing up for black rights. And
is it the courage to stand up that you would say is the marker?
Yeah,
of
the courage. I've been reading Paul Tillich, who's a German theologian. He wrote a book called The Courage to Be. And that kind of philosophy, which is the courage to be oneself despite what the world does and how the world influences you. That's kind of how I see humility. And that's what I see in Martin Luther King, for example.
Yeah.
Is despite the sort of despair of what is going on around him, his conviction of what is true and what is right, he stood up for it. Of course, if we bring it back to Jesus as well, again, despite the Jewish culture of, separation from the Gentiles, the sort of, I guess, discrimination of the people who were disabled or just ill, I guess.
Right.
He stood up for those people, right? So there's an appreciation that of by your own conviction of what is true, what is the truth, and standing up for that, I think is humility.
Right.
Because you have to overcome the comfort of being part of the social norm, I think. And do you see what I mean? There's an aspect of you have to overcome that, and that's where the pride aspect comes in. Is I think anyway. I feel like there's comfort in the masses. So to stand up in despite of that, is you've got to have a lot of courage, and I think there's an aspect of that within humility. Of course, it's not always true. I don't think that's always the case that somebody standing up for their own conviction is humility. I mean, an extreme example of Hitler, obviously isn't right.
Yeah.
But there's an element of that. I think.
I guess day to day would be a bit like people pleasing, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Deciding not to people please would be...
That would be an example.
Yeah, that's interesting. What came to my mind when you were talking about that was when I was young, all of my friends supported a football team.
Yeah.
I had no interest in football. Sorry. I just don't. I watched the World Cup.
That's okay.
That's okay. But I felt like I needed to just choose a team. So I started supporting Liverpool. Again, I don't know why, but I just did, right?
Yeah.
So in that scenario, would you say the humble thing would have been to just stick to who I actually was and continue?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, again, there's maybe a blurring between courage to be oneself.
Yeah, sure.
And humility. But I think where they converge is that humility requires to put off one's natural inclination, I think.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? So the
Yes.
natural inclination is that you would choose your football team
Right.
rather than the conviction of being who you are,
Yeah, sure.
which feeds into relationship, which
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
come on to later in later
Yeah.
episodes.
Mm.
Because to be able to know you, I want to know
Mm.
what is your actual interest. I don't want to know that you pretended to support. Well, no, I do want to know that. I want to know that you pretended to support Liverpool, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to think that you
I
support
support Liverpool.
Liverpool
Yeah, yeah.
because it's not you. That
not
isn't
true.
you. It's not
Yeah.
true. It's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that it's not authentic, Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. The other example is Star Wars.
Go on.
Have you seen Star Wars?
I have, yeah.
I've never watched Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I always felt really what's the word? Guilty when I
Yeah.
admitted that I've never seen it.
Yeah. Oh, there's
Some
I'm
people
s-
might be kicking off right now.
yeah.
as they're
I'm sure
listening.
there's much more controversial.
These are very very
but they're
silly
great
examples,
examples.
but yeah,
They're
yeah.
great examples. Yeah. No. But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's interesting. Who else? Martin Luther King,
There's loads, isn't there?
Moses.
Moses.
I mean, I'm saying that because he says that about himself,
Oh right. Okay. Go on.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And that Moses was the most humble man on earth. But people think that he wrote that book.
Yeah. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Seems like a bit paradoxical.
Yeah, it's quite funny. Anyway,
We're going to come on to false humility. No, I'm joking.
yeah,
I'm joking. No.
we're gonna do a case study on Moses.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I think with Moses, you obviously get that. Where I would see it with him is he didn't see himself as being able to speak to Pharaoh, and yet, yeah, he had to overcome his own natural inclination
That's
of comfort.
true,
Again,
actually,
it's
yeah.
that it's that sort of perceived notion of because if we go back to this definition here, you know, a modest or low view of one's importance, because even if you say that you have a low, you can have a such a low view of oneself that you almost it comes back to pride, I think, because what you end up doing is you use your weakness as an excuse to be, to participate in being in life. I think that's where the trap of weakness comes in. And don't get me wrong, there are certain things that restrict us from just doing certain things. Completely get that. But if you look at Moses, he had to overcome his own weakness, which was his speech impediment, wasn't it?
Yes.
And to then say that, yes, I will do this despite my own perceived limitations.
Yeah.
But he appreciated his own limitations. He knew them.
Yes.
Like he admitted it. So almost that was his humility. Like, he admitted it and overcame it by doing it.
Right.
By speaking speaking to Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And and the rest of the story is history, kind of thing.
It's interesting.
Anything else that comes to mind?
Yeah, someone who's taken advantage of, lets others walk all over them. But on a more positive note, someone who puts other people first.
Yeah.
Regardless of their own needs.
Yeah.
I don't think that's always healthy, but I think that's a really nice quality. I think if you think of someone who's selfless, I think that's quite a humble thing for someone to be selfless.
Yeah. Do you experience that? on a day-to-day basis, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. In church, I feel like I experienced it more growing up.
Okay, yeah.
I went through some tough seasons in life,
Sure.
so people were quite helpful.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's people helping you only because you're going through that tough time? Do you feel like it was less authentic?
Less authentic, yeah. At the time, I didn't. I think upon reflection, yeah, maybe a little bit, but it still
meant something.
It still meant something. Yeah, absolutely. I think culture. I don't know how true this is. I'm still trying to reflect on this, but Asian culture, you're expected to be selfless.
Yeah.
So you do put others first. So I experienced that a lot more growing up or interacting with Indians and Asian households. So coming to Britain, I think I experienced it less, but I don't think that's because Asian people are more humble. I think it's just culturally expected.
Yeah. We could use a really crude example, couldn't we? So when you're going towards the door with a few people and somebody holds the door open for you.
Sure.
Or there's sort of, after you. No, after you sort of.
Yeah.
Discussion.
Yes.
And it's sort of, you sort of kind of feel like it's not quite authentic. You're almost continuing it because you want to be the most humble.
Sure, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in our culture, there's the sort of, well, I don't know. It's just not like this in India at all, is it? Where you wait for somebody to, when you're driving, you wait for somebody behind a car. Somebody comes along and you say thank you.
Sure, yeah. No one waits in India when you're driving.
Yeah, so
maybe driving is
that's the exception.
That's the exception.
When you're driving, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's true. Actually, here, yeah, you're right.
It's a strange concept though, because I think a lot of people get angry when they don't say thank you,
right?
Even though that's just the rules of the road,
right?
Yeah. You just wait behind a car.
I find myself getting upset that they didn't put their hand up. Yeah.
Right.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
What is that? Tell me. Can you explain that phenomenon?
What is that actually? I don't know.
Why
is it like?
Because why does it? Because do you agree? So I appreciate you saying that you get annoyed at people.
Yeah.
Who don't say thank you.
Yeah.
But isn't it? Don't I might be wrong here, but it's there right away. Mostly,
yeah.
Like
sure.
there are times where people just, they don't keep to the etiquette of the road. They just whiz on by.
But I have to stop.
You have to stop.
Yeah.
It's like going.
It's not
to
like
a red...
I chose to stop.
No.
Yeah.
It's like going to a red light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the rule.
It's the highway code.
It's their right of way. Yeah.
So if they don't say, why is it that they have to say thank you?
That is interesting.
It's fine. I mean, it's a nice thing.
Sure.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm making, is that if they have to say thank you, does that not undermine the thanking?
Right.
It just doesn't.
Sure.
It doesn't feel authentic anymore. It just feels like it's another rule, or it's another. I don't know. It's like it's a robotic sort of thing. If you're saying that they have to.
Yeah. I was saying etiquette is not genuine then.
Not
entirely.
Not necessarily that etiquette is.
Or when our expectation that someone will abide by a certain.
Yeah, I just think it loses the authenticity of, because you feel like you're saying thank you because it's a rule or something. Yeah. Rather than because you're genuinely thankful.
Yeah,
it just undermines the reason that it probably started in the first place.
Yeah.
So one of the ways in which I think you see humility, and I think a lot of media, they love to play on humility and sacrifice and that idea of sacrifice. But you see it a lot in modern films, and I think there's a sort of desire that we would embody what's portrayed in media is my thinking. So some of the films that come to mind, so Saving Private Ryan, just thinking like the absurdity of the idea of saving a private despite the war that is going on around you,
right?
You know, that idea. So you're sacrificing yourselves, a whole like elite team for one mere private, as it were.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit absurd, and so I think there's an aspect of humility there. The Blind Side, that's that cultural difference between two families, a white family bringing in a young black kid, that sort of thing. I thought of Titanic as well. The reason I thought of Titanic was just the sacrificial element of the, when Jack
of the ship. The ship was so humble to let the iceberg.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, I can't
live.
Got to let this iceberg
move,
so I'm going to go down.
I will sacrifice myself.
Yeah, I've never seen it like that.
Yeah,
but now you've.
Sorry, you were actually saying.
My actual thing was like Jack's sort of sacrificing himself for Rose.
Yeah,
a little bit of that, but
sure,
maybe not quite, but a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit more modern though. The Avengers.
Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers.
Great movies, by the way.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
So we'll try and. Well, I was going to say we'll try not to spoil it for people, but maybe we'll just say...
It's been out for a long time, hasn't it?
So
what are you doing?
Just don't listen to this bit if you
I mean, we ruined the other movies, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Did we? Yeah, the Titanic sinks. Sorry. Didn't know if you knew that.
I was going to watch that film.
Yeah, The Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers, yeah.
And I guess the idea you're getting at with the Avengers is the fact that they came together to save a world, against their own interests.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They have every reason to save themselves, but they put aside their own interests for the greater good.
Yeah. There's also, I think, one of the there's two scenes, I think, that portray humility the most, or the sacrificial element of humility. So there's the fight between Black Widow and Hawkeye when they're getting the red stone, which I forgot what it was.
Oh, the Soul Stone?
Is it? Oh, it's the Soul Stone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically, in Infinity War, when they go and get the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
And they meet Red Skull.
Yeah, Endgame.
Well, but in Infinity War, Thanos kills Gamora.
Yeah, you're right.
To get the Soul Stone.
He does,
Because the Soul Stone requires...
A soul.
Of importance. So it's somebody
person you love the most.
And obviously in Endgame, with Hawkeye and Black Widow, they both
care about each other.
Yeah, so either one of them dying would get the stone.
Yeah.
But the fight between themselves is obviously a sort of show of
they both want to sacrifice themselves.
They're both showing an aspect of humility there, I think.
And then Iron Man at the end.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge. I can't remember this one that well.
Is Hacksaw Ridge the one with Andrew Garfield?
It is, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So he is a pacifist. I think he basically ends up bringing people down who have been shot or who are injured from this huge ridge, and saves a lot of people's lives basically.
Yeah. Is he a medic? No. He's just a pacifist who doesn't like war,
exactly.
But he wants to save people's lives
basically
in the war.
I think
right?
so. Yeah, probably should have done a little bit more research on that one.
But
I can't quite
something
remember.
like that.
Something along that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another one which is it kind of screams humility.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can see it a lot in media, I think.
I think you've put this down. The other thing that comes to your mind when you think of humility is humble bragging.
Yes. So, and this is something that I think we need to explore, because when does humility basically become pride? You know, pride disguised as humility.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a fine line, I think, between them. So, it's so hard to keep up with all the work I'm doing in my dream job.
I'm so stressed at this dream job that I've got.
Yeah, that is just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm earning so much money. No, there's obviously
Sure.
it's a little bit satirical, but essentially what you've got is this ability to sort of exclaim something that is so brilliant about yourself, like a self-affirmation that isn't really authentic. It's sort of inauthentic in the sense that you're not just telling someone. So I could say to you, for example, I have my dream job. I'm really enjoying it. It's brilliant. It's very authentic.
Sure, yeah.
And I would say it's quite humble in its authenticity. It's an appreciation of where I am. I don't have I'm not saying that it's okay. So then I could say it's not perfect, but it's my dream job.
Yeah.
So I'm giving a very honest view. You know, it's very and I can say, but it could be taken away from me at any point, and I appreciate it. So there's an aspect of the authenticity of what I'm doing, and as well as that, the appreciation of it.
Yeah.
So there's that's the expression of humility. Whereas this would be like you're almost trying to be humble. You're trying to grab humility without the authenticity of humility itself. It's like undermining humility, because
so interesting.
You know what I mean? You're not really trying. You're hiding this bit at the end that says it's your dream job. But that's the thing you want to tell. That's the thing, and you're hiding it. Why? Why would you do that?
Right.
Well, it's actually because you don't think this is very. Or I guess you don't think that's very humble. So let's do the. You're using weakness as a means by which somebody would be sympathetic to you,
right?
And it's not quite the authenticity that builds genuine relationships, which is what we'll come on to later.
Yeah.
Does that resonate? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I don't know.
100%. The complaining is interesting about how hard it is. I think that's where it is undermined, right?
Yeah.
It's not even, like you said, it's not even talking about the fact that you have a dream job, have your dream job.
No.
I think actually that's quite authentic to say, like you said.
Yes. Yeah.
But you've got another example here, which I think is quite funny.
Yeah, this one is quite funny. But I was actually I'm traveling to say Africa, and it was so difficult trying to save all the children or something. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of
sure.
You're using that sort of I've gone, I went here, and I guess we all do it. And I was thinking about this because one of the examples for me might be that in a church environment or any religion, I think, but particularly we would see this in church, for example, it's very easy to try to come up with testimonies of what we've done in order to gain some sort of merit within the church, some sort of spiritual points, which aren't, it's not authentic. It's not, So, for example, and I know I've done this, so, and I might even be doing it now, so I do apologize. But I might say, so, I've done a bit of traveling in the past, and while I was in the Philippines, we visited lots of churches. So I might say, I visited so many churches. I visited so many kind of pastors and had so many discussions about, what was happening with various different ministries and all sorts of that. So I might say that to somebody in a way like this, like, we visited so many churches, and we that sort of mantra. And I know I've done that. So
okay.
And it's not authentic because I'm not really talking about what it is that I did in a way that is authentic to the conversation that I'm having with that person.
Yeah.
And as I say, I think there's a way of doing it humbly. It's just how there's a fine line.
Yeah, there is.
It's really hard.
I think the distinguishing factor is gratitude and pride. So with the first one, we're talking about the dream job. I think the authentic way, you're very grateful that you're able to have this job that you love. Whereas the other one is just rooted in pride. Like, I have a job that I love, and I want to tell you about it.
Yeah,
but you're going to cloak it in this kind of facade. But that is interesting.
I guess how it relates maybe to, say, Jesus' teaching. So Jesus said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. So there's an aspect of what it is you are doing, especially in ministry or charity, whatever it is, in respect to anything that's kind of ethical, I guess. Almost don't let yourself know that you're doing that. Don't let that be something greater than it was. It was always intended for the purpose of bringing about relationship, let's say. Think about charity, if you think about ministry, all those things should be, and they're not always, should be always about how is it helping this person flourish, become themselves, becoming a greater person in themselves. It's enabling somebody to be who they could be. It's, and that's obviously the humility side. And you should, and I think Jesus is saying, don't make it any more than that.
Right.
But if you let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, it's very tempting to go, well, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Look at this.
Yeah, gotta give me some brownie points.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have a higher view of your own importance.
Yeah.
Whereas, let that be given. I think there's an aspect of let that be given to you rather than you seek after that.
Yeah, and don't presume your importance.
Yeah, let it be given unto you.
Yeah. There's another biblical passage where I guess I don't know if this is translatable in the British culture, but maybe in the Jewish tradition, it talks about certain spots on a table being more honorable than other spots on the table. Is there a head of the table? And that seems to ring a bell. And I guess there would be like that one chair that is reserved for.
When you first said it, I thought you meant like black spots on a white cloth.
Oh.
Spots on the table.
Spots on the table. No. I meant like chairs.
Chairs, yeah. Chairs.
But this biblical principle is don't go and sit somewhere where that is the most honorable position. Let someone take you there. Don't assume your importance. Yeah. On my notes it says humility in reality.
Yeah, right. So there's an aspect that we have formed a reality of the world and also more importantly, our situations.
Yeah.
So we tend to use that reality to then form our perceptions of people, of God, for those who believe in him, for a reality of nature, reality of our own spirituality. You know, all these. So there's a sort of reality that we form, subjective reality.
Yeah.
And therefore a subjective experience, I think, because of that. And what we've been discussing is, well, what would it be like if we were always humble in our perception of reality, in respect to the ability to say that, well, essentially there may be a greater reality. There may be a reality that is beyond that which I perceive things to be. Yeah. Essentially.
Right.
And humility being the gateway to that new reality, because we can say,
yeah, I
can give this reality up and can be given a new reality. And usually that's through communication, through people showing you things or experiencing new things, whatever it is. So there's various ways in which the model of the world, as it were, in your head can transform. Right?
Sure.
And so, but again, I think it requires humility, really. Yeah. It really does.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a subjective experience. So I don't like tomatoes and I don't really like chocolate.
Oh,
which
I agree with one of those.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't like tomatoes either.
Yeah. There you go. So we have a shared
reality
there.
But I love chocolate.
Yeah.
What is it about chocolate that you don't like?
I don't like overly sweet things, but chocolate isn't massively sweet. It is, but
is it the texture or the taste or the?
It's the taste. There's something about the taste. It's just I particularly don't like chocolate cake. Right. So I could have like a dairy milk. Okay. Yeah, as I say, it's not too bad. I mean, tomatoes I really don't like.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That reminds me of again, I can't remember who it was. I think it was my sister. Shout out to Jabisha. But there is something that she doesn't like to eat that I'm just convinced that she's just had a bad version of it her whole life.
Right, that's interesting.
Because I love this, and I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. But
but it's the same.
It's the same thing with chocolate.
Thing. So you are like almost convinced that it can't be possible.
Yeah,
that
chocolate's
don't
amazing,
like
dude.
chocolate. But it is interesting. But that's an example, isn't it? It's the example of the reality or your experience, your subjective experience, and my subjective experience are different. And this is an example of humility. Yeah. So can you accept my subjective experience of not liking chocolate?
I think I have.
You're struggling with it.
I'm struggling with it, but it's fine.
It's
fine. I don't fully get it. But I think I understand that people have different tastes. So on that level, I get it. Yeah. But it's... Yeah, I'm struggling to marry my perception of it with yours.
Yeah,
yeah.
But there is also obviously people's subjective experience changes over time. So I used to not like onions. I don't think. If I remember
right.
correctly, as a kid.
Okay.
Whereas now I love onions.
Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't really like casserole. But I do now.
Right. Okay.
So there's a lot of things that I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't have eaten as a kid, or I wouldn't have enjoyed as a kid. Whereas now
You've changed.
Yeah, I've changed.
You've changed.
I've changed.
You've changed, Steve.
You've changed. So,
color blindness is another thing.
Well, yeah,
I'm colorblind.
Yes, exactly.
Fun fact.
So what is your
red green? I'm red green deficient, so I can't see red or green very well.
Yeah.
So that. Straight away, my perception of the world is different to your perception of reality.
It will be different. Interestingly, I was thinking about this, and somebody might be able to do a bit of research or know how this might work, but can you transform light into other sensations like sound, for example? So if you manipulate the spectrum of light, I guess, this is where I get a bit hazy, into so those deficiencies, you transform it into, say, sound, and then you're able to pick up those perceptions that you lost. So you're getting them, but your experience of those of reality will be different, but you will at least have, it will be based on some objectivity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the difference, because obviously when we talk about chocolate, there's an objective. If we both eat a bar of chocolate, my suggestion would be, well, there's an objective
experience.
There's an objectivity to that experience in the sense that we're both eating chocolate, so therefore, but our experiences of that chocolate is different.
Are subjective.
Are subjective, yes.
Yeah, true.
But then when we talk about light, because you're colorblind, are you unable to perceive some aspect of objectivity of reality in that sense? Or is it the same with the chocolate in the sense that I just can't perceive certain aspects of it because I've some sort of difference in my tongue? Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm making things up. Somebody else would who
your
knows
taste
more about
buds
this, are deficient. No, I'm not joking. I'm joking.
You're taste blind.
I'm taste blind. Exactly.
That's interesting.
I don't know. No idea.
Yeah. It's like Daredevil, what you were mentioning earlier on.
Yes.
Daredevil can see the world through the sound that he hears.
That's exactly
right?
that's
yeah
that and in there is a that does happen to people,
sure,
not to that level obviously, and they don't become Daredevil, but they have a greater ability to experience sound, or they're able to very, very clearly hear the world, more so than somebody who is able to see and hear. So that does happen, I think.
Yeah.
And the brain is able to make up those deficiencies.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the big question is, can we trust our perceptions?
Yeah, because if we're looking at the same thing and having different experiences on the same thing, I guess we have to conclude that we can't fully trust our perception. No.
Obviously, we could go into a big philosophical discussion here.
We're in the Matrix.
We're in the Matrix. Yeah. I was thinking of Descartes' "I think, therefore I am."
I see.
But the Matrix as well.
Yeah. It's all an illusion. Do you remember the black and blue dress / white and gold dress picture?
That was very good, wasn't it?
That was a really interesting one.
Yeah. People got very angry about that.
Yeah. If people don't know what we're talking about, there's a picture on the internet. If you just Google black and blue dress versus white and gold dress, it's a picture that, to some people, it looks like the dress is black and blue, but to others, it looks like white and gold.
Very interesting.
And it divided the internet a few years ago.
And really, that's the crux of where we're trying to get at here, isn't it? It's there's two elements to it. There's two elements to this sort of reality aspect. Having a shared reality is appreciating other people's subjective reality, I think there's an aspect.
Okay. So you're appreciating someone else's difference in experience to yours.
Exactly. Right. So your appreciation of my distaste of chocolate, I think is a humble appreciation, because you're able to say there is another that is genuinely experiencing life in a different way.
Sure.
Because you could deny that, but it might be natural to do so because you know what you experience, and you might say, well, all I know is what I experience. Right. So to say that I experience something else might be like, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. So there has to be. So I think humility. There's a humility in the appreciation of others' experience of reality. So I think that's the first thing.
Right.
But then there's a second part of that, which is just because you have a subjective experience of reality, and this is back to the can I trust my own perceptions, does that mean that that is a good reflection of reality? Is it a good reflection of reality? Or have we decided that this is how it is and I'm not going to allow anything to penetrate that reality, mold that reality, break out of that reality? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a humility in that as well, to say, my reality isn't reflective of objectivity, or isn't reflective of the reality that's out there, if we call it that. From a theistic perspective, there's we have the faith that there is a reality of God that is greater than our understanding. We always have this. There's almost an infinite level of limited understanding of God. Yeah, I suppose it's a bit of a negative theology approach, but I still think it's I think a lot of Christians would say that this is a valid approach to the understanding of God. That limited understanding of him, if you appreciate that, you will always be looking for a new reality of the world. You will always be doing that because God is infinite. So you'll always be looking for. So you'll always be experiencing something new. You'll always be doing that. Yeah. That's the transformative process of life. Right. But it requires humility. It requires saying, I will accept that which I've now experienced to be true. And I think we often reject.
Yeah, it's hard to do that when you experience something and it's true to your subjective perception. It's hard to then go, oh, maybe that's not true for someone else. Yeah. In some instances.
Yeah. And even harder than to say, maybe maybe I can experience that as well. Right. So an example might be, you're about to go into an exam and you're anxious about it. Right. But you've done all the hard work. Okay. So there's a reality there that you will fail the exam. So catastrophizing is something that I think a lot of young people struggle with. So you might be going into an exam thinking, I'm going to fail this exam. So what you need, so somebody comes along and says, you've done all the hard work. I've seen you, perform really well. I've seen you answer the questions over and over again, and yet you're anxious still. Right. You can accept that which somebody is saying about you. That's a reality. The reality is that you will be okay in this exam. Right. But it's almost like the anxiety is the thing that makes it such that you're not going to do well.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Which is fascinating. I mean, it might be isolated to mental states, but it is interesting. You need to trust in that reality that you are going to be okay. There's almost a belief in that you will do well in this exam to overcome the anxiety, which is the very thing that's stopping you from doing well in that exam.
Yeah. It's a false perception there as well. Yeah. And then moving ahead, our ontology is a starting point, a point in which we can start to investigate the world. What does that mean, Steve?
So this idea of like accepting reality, so experience, right? So the new experiences within the world. Let's say you go traveling, right? And there's new things that sort of come about. I think our being, so the state of our being, right? So the ontology of our being,
right? Who we are, yeah,
helps us to navigate those new experiences and form a new reality.
Yeah. So you're saying our experience right now is not the end. This is not. We're not concluding based on our perceptions, but we're beginning to explore and form. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having humility in reality is being in a state of suspended belief about your own mental model of the world. I like that. Suspended belief. So you're like always open to new information, basically, right?
Yeah.
And you've said here that being in a state of suspended belief is difficult.
Because it's your own mental state, it's comfortable because that's what you know. What you know is what you know.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like, well, I can control that.
Yeah.
So to then, it's a leap of faith to jump into a new reality, a new mental model of the world, and accept that.
Growing up in this thing you've always believed to be true, and then you're having to challenge it now.
Yes.
And that is difficult.
And that's difficult.
Right?
And you tend to have to give up something that you've believed you've known or you've experienced. You tend to have to give that up in order to get something new.
Yeah. So 2 examples popped to my mind. One was about T.D. Jakes. If you don't know who that is, that's quite a well-known preacher, author, Christian author, pastor. But I remember watching an interview. He grew up in the Oneness Church, where they believe God expresses himself. God is one. And he doesn't exist in 3 forms at the same time. They believe that he's expressed himself in those different forms at different periods of time. So, and he talks in this interview about how he has become more open to the idea of the Trinity, but he finds it very difficult now to admit that to his oneness peers, right? Because he grew up in this kind of surrounding where that's all they taught, and this is all that he believed, and now to come out of that and to proclaim the Trinity, it's very difficult for him. And I guess that's what we face day to day. When I've believed all my life that chocolate is amazing, and then I come across Steve who hates chocolate.
I don't hate chocolate, but...
Or Joe, actually. Joe loves, is it figs?
Oh, figs.
Dried figs.
He's got me into
Do you like it as well?
Yeah, I do.
And he really told me these are amazing, dude. You got to try this. And I was excited. And then I tried it. I was like, I could take it or leave it, to be honest. But yeah, it is difficult to then come to to learn something new and to admit that. If anyone's seen The Chosen, they do an incredible portrayal of Nicodemus' story, where he is a Pharisee in this Jewish world, and Jesus comes along and is completely, revolutionizing what people think about God, and and so there's this really incredible scene where it almost looks like a breakdown, where he's kind of just losing his mind a little bit, but he's not. He's actually, it's kind of like an epiphany for him, where he's saying, what if everything I believed so far is actually something else? What if we've put God in a box? And his wife then comes up to him and goes, don't be crazy, right? What are you doing? You can't talk like this. You're a Pharisee. You're meant to be teaching other people. But again, he's grown up in this system, believing all of these things to be true, but then suddenly experiences something else, and he's like brought to a moment where he has to be open to this whole new perception of reality. Why is that so difficult for us, though?
Well, I think there's a comfort. There's a comfort in what you know. So I think, it's all you've known. I think also there's an aspect, again, why is it humility? Well, it's humility because if you have a mental model of the world, which you're sure of, you are able to control it. You understand it. You can communicate it.
Yeah.
And you can say to somebody, well, this is how the world is. You know, like let's take Nicodemus and the Pharisees. They had their rituals, they had their way of doing things, and they knew it very well. So they almost had that power to say, this is how you do it. This is how you do life.
Yeah. And
to give that up, I think is quite, you've got to appreciate that you've not got your stuff together. You're not quite understood everything there is to understand. So you've got to admit that. You've got to lose a bit of control because now things aren't as you thought they were. So you don't have the same control you had before. And the other aspect is that if this is true, if this isn't true, then what about everything else? What about my own? You know, we said earlier about our ontology giving us the ability to navigate the world. What about my whole being? What about everything about me? What if that's all a lie as well? You know, so you can kind of unravel.
It's a loss of security and
all of that. Yeah, it can be
letting people down.
Yeah, letting people down is a big one. What people think of you, they're massive.
Yeah, true.
I say, I think it might be worth leaving it there. I think we've gone through a lot of different examples of humility. So next time we'll probably pick up on reality again.
Yes, we haven't fully finished on that topic, so yeah.
So we'll continue with that.
Yeah.
But we're also going to look at knowledge. We're going to look at communication and experience. And how do we be humble in those areas?
Yeah.
So how do we be humble in our gaining of knowledge and our communicating of knowledge?
Yeah.
And our experiences, like how do we be humble in choosing what we experience and experience with?
Yeah,
like, do we not want to be with certain people, for example? You know, all these sorts of things. So that's what's coming up.
Yeah. But I guess the takeaway from this episode is I want to be more open to other people's perception, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's going to be difficult, letting go of your own perception.
I think you're right.
But maybe we can keep an eye on that during this week. Like, I think in our day-to-day interactions, even just with people and the world.
Absolutely.
What are some of the assumptions we're making that are maybe not true? Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Great. Well, join us next time. Cheerio.
Cheerio.
Till next time, folks.